Coming off the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase on July 31st, 2025, I was very excited for the last batch of 2 announcements where Square Enix said, hey, we got 2 brand new HD-2D games coming. I know some people are kind of sick of just how many games in this style are coming out, but quite frankly, I will take as many of these as I possibly can. I adore them, and I know I don't talk about them like at all on this channel. That will change at some point, but outside of the first Octopath Traveler, which I think is a little mid, everything else that Team Asano has pulled off, especially with this engine, has been brilliant. I'm excited for Octopath Traveler 0, I'm excited for Dragon Quest 1+2 HD-2D Remake, but today, of course, I want to talk about the demo that they dropped for their very first action RPG in this style, The Adventures of Elliot. I had to double check and Google the title. It's The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales. This studio will always have just baffling names, and honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. Like, it's something that I expect out of this company, and now if they have a name that like kind of fits and makes sense on first listen, I'm gonna be disappointed. I need a confusing title, because Millennium Tales is like the most, accurate title that they've probably made so far, but, after playing this demo, I still don't really know exactly what that means, so perfect. So I wanted to just give my impressions on the demo that I played because I really enjoyed it, and I'm also kind of amazed that this was a Switch 2 exclusive demo, so much so that I was like blinded by the fact that this is also releasing on PlayStation and Xbox. I did kind of think it was Switch 2 exclusive just in general, but the fact that this demo is only on the Switch 2 is interesting, but something nice to play on this console, especially getting to see an HD-2D game running on a Nintendo console in nice 60 FPS and I guess close to 4K. It's probably not true 4K, but it looks nice. It looks nicer than any other HD-2D game I've played on Switch up until this point, so that's awesome. So watching the trailer, there's more details about the game that we haven't really gotten to see in the demo yet. Like there's this town called Philadelphia, just a hilarious title, and it's like a world that's dominated by monsters, and humanity is only contained in this one kingdom, the kingdom of Huther, I think. I actually don't even know how to pronounce it. And then you're there, your name is Elliot, and you got a little fairy companion named Faye, and you get told, hey, there's a mysterious set of ruins off in the distance, you should go explore. And that's it. That's the only premise that we have in this demo. I'm sure there's obviously going to be a lot more to dive into in the full game, but this was just a means to walk out the castle doors and then just explore. If anything, an issue I have like right off the bat, and it's really a minor issue, is I spent so much time not entirely knowing how to even get to the destination they wanted me to go to. You have to kind of go like in and out of different caves and different directions, and it's not really super like easy in terms of telling you exactly where to go. It was really just encouraging you to, hey, go outside and figure it out on your own, because there's actually some extra optional things you can do, some challenge rooms that are nice, that can give you more skills, and that was kind of cool. It's just, I'm so used to playing Square Enix demos that are just the first chunk of the game with a save data transfer to the full game. That's not what this is. This really is just like, hey, play this game for like an hour, see how much you jive with it, and then we'll fix it all up for the final release. And so far, oh, I'm really digging this. For one, the HD-2D style is immaculate, as it always has been. It looks gorgeous, the atmospheric music is so nice to listen to, and then when it cuts to full body portraits for the cutscenes, those are really nice looking. I think the voice acting is really solid. All of the attention to detail that games like Octopath 2 and Triangle Strategy had, this game is showing as well. And Elliot, so far, seems to be a really charming protagonist, which is nice. He's not a silent protagonist, that's always a plus in my book, and his little dynamic with Faye, who's always there in the bottom left corner cheering you on, it's nice. I'm really digging the characters in the world so far. In typical action RPG fashion, a whole lot of this is just running around and slashing enemies and using any tool you have in your arsenal to take them down. You got a bow and arrow, you got bombs that you can throw at them, and you can configure them between 2 different attack buttons. That's, something I do hope that they change in the final release, is trying to remember what every single button does was a little bit confusing. I'm so used to there being more actions I can do on buttons instead of just configuring 2 at once. It almost kind of reminded me of Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, where we only had a few options to work with. The other buttons do things like, you have a shield, you can block attacks, of course, and then you have a Faye ability, which for the majority of this demo is just like the speed up, like gliding move, and that's really satisfying to use, but I do wish there's some more customization in terms of what the buttons do, because only having 2 actions at once I felt kind of limited, I'm not gonna lie. Especially because I played the game on the more challenging difficulty, and honestly, it was actually pretty tough. Some of the boss encounters took me a while. Like honestly, if you just blaze through this demo, it's probably only like, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, but because I kept dying all the time, that's what kind of made it go to 90 minutes for me. I was incentivized to go to one of the challenge rooms up above, which was like a series of different enemy gauntlets, and it wasn't until I really got into a good groove with this game that I was able to do that challenge and get the little extra heart piece that was waiting at the end, but damn it, it was satisfying when I got it done. Soon enough into your travels, you even get a brand new weapon, which is like the spinning chain thing that you can attack faraway enemies with, and you can even drag them to you, kind of Mortal Kombat style. That was really satisfying. That gives me a lot of hope for the future, thinking that there's going to be a bunch of different weapon types, and I don't know, maybe if there's something where there's a skill tree for every single weapon, and it rewards you for using different ones and learning how to make your perfect build. That gives me a lot of hope. This demo really shows, like, at its base level, the combat systems are really fun and satisfying, and on the more challenging difficulty, you're gonna have to really learn which loadout is the best, because I was just dying so many times. The initial sword and bomb combo just wasn't working for me. Okay, maybe I'll try the bow and arrow. That still wasn't working for me. Do I dare try a sword and a bow and arrow? So maybe there's a pro to only having a 2-weapon loadout as opposed to 3, but I don't know. I think that was just, I was so dedicated to trying to make it work. I don't know if that's exactly the best game design, but you know, again, it felt satisfying, but it does give me hope that in the final product, there's a lot more options you have with combat. It's the studio's first attempt at a more action-based combat and gameplay system, and I think they're showing some really good potential here. What I'm also really digging is there's not just exploration and combat, there's some like platforming as well. You got a jump button, and damn it, they expect you to use it. You go inside this one cave, and sure enough, you gotta jump from rock to rock and make sure you don't fall and lose health. I love that. Combining the platforming with some of the speed-up moves that Faye can do. Oh, now you're speaking to me. Now you're speaking to me. You give me an HD-2D game that already has a gorgeous style, really fun combat, and is gonna be platforming. Who knows what else is gonna be in this? Oh, I'm pretty excited. One of the things I was the most pleasantly surprised with is despite picking the more challenging difficulty, I was kind of figuring that because I was dying so many times, maybe I would start to feel like, okay, maybe there's some balancing that the game devs need to work on for the final product. And of course, there's probably some minutia there that they'll tweak as time goes on, but that final boss in this demo, this giant frog thing, it felt immediately with its attack patterns that even though it was tough to get right, it felt doable. I typically hate boss battles where you just have to wait for your opportunity to hit an enemy, you hit him once or twice, and then you go back to waiting. But the two things that make the boss fight really fun is sometimes in the interim, it'll drop enemies around, so you gotta handle them and make sure you get them all and not take any additional damage. And then they add platforming to the boss fight because some of the lily pads will go up and you gotta jump on the highest one so you can avoid the waterfall. That was satisfying. And then halfway through the boss's life, he starts to spawn these whirlwinds alongside his main moves, and they're annoying to deal with, and it just was actually like, it's just a really good boss, and it gives me a lot of like high expectations that they're gonna nail it, that they're really gonna nail it, because they already have like the really good sprite work and animations. You already look at this thing and you can tell that it's like an imposing beast, but oh man, then you get the opportunity to hit him, and then the camera zooms in for your charge attacks, and oh man, this is good. This is gonna be a good game. Oh yeah, and then part of customizing your moveset, there's also this magicite mechanic where you get these different gems that you can combine together in this little briefcase thing, and they all give you different buffs for all of your different weapons, but you can only hold a few of them at a time. It's such a basic, tried and true mechanic, but I'm so happy it's here because you got some that only work for swords, some that only work for bow and arrows. So of course you can configure what weapon loadout you want, but you also have to consider your magicite as well. And there's only a few that you're messing with in this demo, but once again, gives me high hope. So while obviously the final product is going to include a lot more, I think there's a total of 7 weapons, and I'm sure there's more abilities for Faye, and a lot of the magicite opportunities are going to be very high. At the end of the day, I think that it's going to be a pretty straightforward game. I think what we're going to be getting with the final product is what we got in the demo, just times like 15 or 20. The themes of the environments that you explore, it's not like they're exactly original, but they're just gorgeous with the HD-2D style, and the same goes with the combat. These are all things that we've kind of seen before in other games, but seeing Team Asano with the HD-2D engine just nailing their first action RPG is so exciting to me. I almost got this game mixed up with Octopath Zero, which has some town building mechanics, and the fact that the main city in this game is called Philadelphia, I thought this game is the one that had the building mechanics, but turns out no, this might actually just be a really straightforward action RPG, which quite frankly, in this world where we have so many giant action RPGs with a million different mechanics and systems all coming together into one thing, it's really nice that this is seeming to be just a really nice, straightforward RPG. Team Asano is really nailing this whole idea of like taking a Super Nintendo or PS1 styled RPG, taking what worked in that era, and then just polishing the hell out of it with their gorgeous art style. I get that some people are getting sick of this art style, but I am not one of them. I guess I'm gonna be playing 3 Team Asano games in the next year, and to me, that is super exciting. So let me know if you're also interested in the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, or any other HD-2D game. I know at some point, likely after this game releases, I might do a bigger blowout on the HD-2D games because I love all of them. I just think the first Octopath's kind of mid. I think this team deserves it. They have been knocking it out of the park each and every time. And just finally, a shout out to anybody who's watching this who may be named Elliot, who lives in Philadelphia. I feel like by law, you are required to buy this game on every single console available, so let me know how that goes for you too. All right, bye.